It's like coming home for me. I I have done basic mountaineering, advanced rock climbing. I was selected for RD, but then that year I was also selected for Asiad 82. So I had to make a choice between the two. I went for Asiad because that was only one time happening. So I went for Asiad and the same garrison ground where they have RD parade, and then I was there for 40 days. So it's very nostalgic seeing the emblem. I don't know if you have the NCC song with the same song. कौन सा song है? हम सब भारतीय हैं, वही चल रहा है, अभी चेंज नहीं हुआ है. एंड एक सुरांगिनी भी होती थी. सुरांगिनी का सॉन्ग कैंप में हम बहुत गाया करते थे. एंड एक unity and discipline, that is something which has gone extremely deep inside my bones and tissues. My every bit has got these two components ingrained. If you get into as a cadet and you end up with C certificate, A grade, so I suppose आपके पास ऑप्शन नहीं होता है, बहुत अंदर तक चला जाता है वो सारी चीजें. मेरे ख्याल में मेरे अंदर भी बहुत सारी चीजें चली गई हैं. So I am here and it's like homecoming for me, and I really am enjoying being part of this NCC group that has organized this. In fact, I am here to tell you, but if I can possibly talk to you about UPSC, of course you are here for UPSC, not for NCC, but these two powerful words, unity and discipline, सब कुछ हो जाता है इससे. Can you imagine that? अगर unity है आप में, यूनिटी नॉर्मली हम सोचते हैं कि झगड़े नहीं पड़ोसियों से तो वी हैव यूनिटी, अगर किसी और से नहीं करें. बट यूनिटी इज अ वेरी बिग वर्ड. आई मीन दैट आई कुड रियलाइज मच लेटर, एंड it went so deep in me. I mean, actually, when I came to University of Delhi, and I I joined in Department of Geography as a student in Delhi School of Economics, and later on, I also happened to teach there for some time in 1999. This college, I am coming back after 35 years. 1990, I had come here for some award, something that was there. But it's all nostalgic things which are going into my mind. And I was trying to tell you that unity, if I can possibly see it from the perspective of UPSC, I think the unity I like to define for you is that unity of behavior and goal. Normally, they are not in sync with each other. Your behavior, as Mr. Minal was talking about a little while ago, is of a good student, a good neighbor, a good friend, a good cadet, or whatever, but goal is to clear IAS. If you somehow are able to sync these two, if you're able to unite the two, that is your behavior and goal. Like he was beautifully talking about the fact that अगर आप सो रहे हैं तो इसलिए सो रहे हैं कि जगने के बाद मैं फ्रेश होकर पढ़ाई करूं. I am going to Kenax for some refreshment. शायद अब तो आपके पास बहुत सारे ऑप्शन आ गए हैं. In my time, in 80s, that was the only option. Lakshmi Sweet was the only place where we could go. Now we've got so many options. It's just because you have promised yourself that I'll achieve this and then probably have it. So just try uniting your behavior and your goal. If your behavior and goal has been united, and this is something you have to audit yourself. Look back last 1 hour, look back 1 hour and ask yourself, was my last 1 hour spent in the direction of the goal or not? If the answer is yes, carry on. If not, you have two options. Change your goal or change your behavior. You can't have, like, behavior is something else. Behavior is like a very popular neighbor. You can contest election then. Because I haven't seen a popular person becoming an IAS officer. Yes, they become popular after becoming IAS officer, not before that. So it is very important that you sync the two. And the second is discipline. Discipline will basically give you perseverance. If you are disciplined, you will stay on into business. You will carry on with the task that you have got in your hand. And if you're not disciplined, sometime you're this side, sometime you're that side, sometime you're there, sometime you're there, you're everywhere. I mean, that's not something which is, and you understand that if you just discipline the sun rays to one common point, just discipline it, give it a direction, it'll produce fire. A simple magnifying glass can possibly produce a fire if you just discipline all those rays to a common point. The only thing is that we are not disciplined. We are everywhere. We're doing everything. And then that's where we have the problem there. So I suppose, think about these two words. Try internalizing them. Say that is my behavior and my goal is in sync. I told you that you act like a student. I mean, that's not something I expect you to be. Because student is not somebody who will pass the examination, because if your behavior is like a student, you can't pass the examination. Because student is one who is always interested in acquiring, collecting more information. That's what a student's Vidyarthi is all about. Keeping the mental valve always opened inside. But an examinee retrieves, takes the facts out. So if you only till the last day, you are acting like a student, you're only collecting information. And if you have those information and you think that if I have the information, I can do anything, no, it's not going to work, because you have not trained your mind how to retrieve information. And retrieval is a skill. Writing answer is a skill. Most of the time, we don't understand the question. And that's a very big mistake that we are always suffering from, because we have a confidence of, in fact, it's a trap. There's a book by Sutton, Professor in Sutton. There's a book called Knowing, Doing, Trap. Knowing, doing, trap. Think about it. Mostly we know what to do, but we don't do it because we know that we can do it. In the mobile, I have got all the possible information that is required to pass this examination. It's with me, but I don't do it. So this is a huge trap that we ask yourself, that am I into the loop of that knowing, doing, trap? So if you want to be passing the examination, I would not expect you to be a student. I would like to be an examinee. Pariksharthi bano agar pariksha pass karni hai. I think that is what is, there's a humongous gap between the two facets of personality. Pariksharthi is actually retrieving and Vidyarthi is only acquiring. And this gives lots of satisfaction, lots of confidence that you have got. And then I always like to tell you that Mr. Manal said this in a different word, that huge numbers that he was talking about. But then can I, with due permission from Mr. Manal, I think, if I may, can you compete with anybody? Can you compete with somebody sitting in Delhi, with somebody sitting in Nagaland, or for that matter, Gujarat, or for that matter in Kerala? You don't know that person. The person is different. What that person must be doing, you have no idea. Can you compete with that person? You always think of competing with that person on the track, but that's happening for a few minutes only, for a few seconds only. Most of the time, it's not the person that you have got, the one you are competing with. You're actually almost all the time competing with your own self. I think we often forget this. It's a very difficult person who always stays with you, always travels with you. And beating that person every single night is not an easy task. So I would say that if this is a competition which you call as an all-India competition, I think you're not into that competition. You're competing with your own self. I think you have no idea about hundreds of thousands of people, as Mr. Manal was talking about. You have no idea what they're doing. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? You know your weaknesses. You know your strengths. You can capitalize your strengths. You can attend your weaknesses and actually find a better version. और सोने से पहले एक काम करके सोना. I mean, spend some time in front of the mirror, look into your eyes and say like, तूने आज अपना काम किया क्या? Are you closer to your goal? Because looking into your own eyes, I'm promising you cannot lie. You cannot lie to yourself. And then if you said yes, you are closer to your goal, at least by one day, take a bow and then sleep. Taking a bow to your own self is not an easy thing. Khud ko thumbs up karna is not an easy thing. I'm proud of you is not an easy statement which you can possibly make to yourself. You are amazing. In fact, I must tell you, all of you, I mean, that's what I met so many people. I mean, that's the best part of my job. I keep meeting the best of the minds of the country all the time. And that's the best part of being in this profession. And I think all of them, in fact, that's without dispute, all of them, uh, I mean, they competed with themselves. They were not competing with anybody else. किसी और से competition नहीं है आपकी. आप हमेशा एक मेटा स्टेट ऑफ कंपटीशन में रहते हैं. इनफैक्ट देयर आर सो मेनी ऑड्स ऑफ योर ओन. कई बार खुद ही रास्ते में खड़े होते हैं. एक चीज देकर जाऊंगा आपको. 3 चीजों को टारगेट मत रखना कभी भी. I mean, that's something which is what is stopping you from getting the best version out of yourself. यकीन मानो, you are worth gold. All of you are worth gold. कई बार एहसास नहीं होता है. कई बार हनुमान जी को भी एक जामवंत की जरूरत होती थी, जो उनकी तारीफ करता था तो लगता था अरे हाँ, तो मेरी बारे में बात हो रही है, मैं उठा लूंगा पहाड़. So I think sometimes you need a Jamwant, but then ultimately it is not the Jamwant, it was Hanumanji who would lift the mountain. And you all are worth gold. कभी किसी को मतलब ऐसे हावी मत होने दो. कोई भी चीज को ऑब्स्टिकल मत बनने दो. सब हर्डल्स हैं. I think you understand the difference between hurdle and obstacle. But अगर hurdles हैं तो जम कर जाते हो आप. I suppose it is easy and you can always do it. I was telling you about the 3 things. They should never be your target, and that's something which really stops you. एक चीज, and that's also a cause of procrastination, which is also to me a cause of failure. And that is one thing that you should never target quality. क्वालिटी का टारगेट कभी मत करना जिंदगी में, बिकॉज क्वालिटी आलसी लोगों का सबसे खूबसूरत बहाना होता है. करेंगे तो अच्छे से करेंगे, सो जाते हैं. I think if I do it, I'll do it well. That's an absolutely foolish promise. We're fooling ourselves when we say that I'll do it with quality. Please never promise quality. Quality is a byproduct. To my understanding, better is the biggest enemy of good. In the promise of doing better, we deprived ourselves from good. Do lots of good, do lots of bads. A good would happen, a better would happen. So one thing that you're not looking at is quality. आज के बाद quality छोड़ दो. Quality, let it, others say there's a good quality. I mean, I think imagine that if you had the good quality song, if a singer thought on the first day कि गाएंगे तो अच्छे से गाएंगे, कभी नहीं गा सकते थे. बेसुरा गाएंगे, अच्छा अपने आप आएगा. तो lot of time people don't write answers to me. I tell them that please write answers, show it to me. नहीं सर, एक बार और तैयारी कर लेते हैं, अच्छे से फिर करेंगे. नहीं होता है. And I've seen so many toppers. We never shared their initial copies to anybody. All of them were very, very bad. I mean, actually, that's the right word to use. And if you cannot face your bad, you don't deserve a better one. So quality की focus आज से खत्म. दूसरी चीज जिसको कभी focus नहीं करना आपने, वो है completion. A lot of time we say that when we complete it, and then I would complete it. This work is in progress. I mean, I'm sure you know that those people who clear this examination get rank 1 also. नंबर कितने आते हैं उनके? कुछ आइडिया है आप लोगों को? 52, 53%, 51% भी कई साल. ये कोई मार्क्स होता है? आप सोचो कि कभी आपको स्कूल में आया होगा और वो स्कोर कार्ड लेके घर गए होंगे, क्या खूबसूरत आरती हुई होगी आपकी उस दिन. 52% लेकर गए होंगे किसी पेपर में. तो दिस इज ऑल व्हाट योर टारगेट इज. सो कंप्लीट नहीं होता है. आई मीन कंप्लीट कभी नहीं होगा. सो आई थिंक यू शुड नेवर फोकस ऑन कंप्लीशन, कि ये करके. ऑलवेज फोकस टाइम. Never focus quality, never focus completion. These are the 2 big enemies. And third, the biggest enemy that you have got is satisfaction. 3 चीजों से बिल्कुल दूर रहो. Stay unsatisfied. That's the reason for you to grow. The moment you get satisfied, I think you stop growing. Stay hungry, stay foolish, stay craving, stay ziddi. Zid karo, khoob zid karo. And I think that's something which is what is absolutely needed.